So part two of our private practice series A to Z. Thank you again. This was a suggestion from one of our audience from webinar. If you've missed out, we've got part one, which covers A to D, and we're going to bang off with E for electronic healthcare records. Now, I love an electronic healthcare record, and I believe there's load in private practice land. So which one do you use, Matthew?
I like the idea there's a private practice land.
It's just like...
It just seems nice. It's very pleasant to hear in private practice land. E, electronic patient record. Yeah, there's lots. This is cloud-based software that you're talking about really in private practice. There are some that you can pay nothing for, things like Alexi. There are some that you can pay a monthly fee for, which can be hundreds of pounds. Depending on how many users you want, and that can be varying, right? Depends on the functionality that you want, the interface that you want. It depends on how you want to use your patient records. So depending on the type of clinic, if we go back to a business plan in B, the type of clinic you're making, you may decide that you're needing a specific type of electronic healthcare record because you need to do aesthetics, and it has to link in with those kind of consultations. If you're doing GP work, you might want something different. I use one called Semble. I'm quite happy to say that they do cost you money, but I think it's worth it. And they have an electronic prescribing feature in it, which makes my work more straightforward. And I think just as a package, it's helpful, easy to use, and it actually ties in quite nicely with the finances, because you can have online booking and payments taken through the patient record that you use, which I know is slightly different to what you would think about in the NHS. So F
for finances. You snuck that one in there, so it's great to see. So brilliant. So
finances is kind of a big deal in private practice, because if patients don't pay, you haven't got a business. So like linking in with the healthcare record, most of them now actually have the ability to let you pay, or patients pay and book at the same time. But in terms of finances, you may want to think about how you're going to finance the actual setup of your clinic.
Gotcha.
It doesn't cost nothing to set up a business. I think that should be stated very clearly. If you're setting up any business and you're managing to do it for under £10,000, you've done well. You really have. By the time you've looked at all the factors that need to go into it, and it could be a lot more depending on whether or not you're buying a building to practice out of, for example. But you also want to look at the finances of how patients pay you. Like I said, the electronic patient record can take a booking payment at the time they book your appointment, but you might want to just take a deposit, and then you want the patient to actually pay you the rest when they're at the clinic. You may want to send a payment link after they've seen you, if you're doing it in telehealth kind of idea. So there are ways of doing that, and you may need a card merchant to allow you to take card payments directly in person or via electronic things like Stripe, etc.
Because I was going to say, haven't you had one that's just been activated for you via your sort of electronic healthcare record?
Yes.
What have you just had?
One of the newer things is Klarna now allows you to pay for medical services and devices. So basically what this is new, right? This is new in the last couple of weeks for me, because I've been looking for something like this for a long time, and it reduces that barrier to entry to private healthcare. Basically, it allows people to spread the payment over a few months, which, if you use Klarna, you'll know what I'm talking about. Lots of people do use it, and I think it's a nice thing that you can now add in. You can use that through all the online transactional accounts that you would find software like Stripe. They will integrate with Klarna almost in minutes. But your electronic healthcare record will also let you do it as well. So
brilliant.
To me, actually they're already linked in with Stripe. They're already linked in with Klarna. So it kind of just comes together as a package. So it's efficient. It's easier. It means that people can choose how they pay for the care that they're looking for, which ultimately is the deal.
And I think obviously you want to get bums on seats, and one sensible way of doing that is G for Google Ads. So I know you've had only just recently a massive breakthrough with your Google Ads, and it's been a bit of a heartache, to say the least.
So unless you're a professional marketer, which I'm not, I've not done a marketing degree, although I feel like I probably have done in the last 12 to 14 months trying to sort out Google Ads. Basically, Google ads exist, and they are quite straightforward, actually. If you just want to set up a Google ad for, I don't know, buying a pair of shoes as a product, way of advertising a product, it is quite straightforward. And there are lots of people out there, lots of marketers who will do that very, very well. The difficulty I found as a healthcare provider is I'm potentially going to prescribe medication, which means that you have that level of red tape through Google ads, which you have to show, because essentially they want to make sure you're not a drug dealer, right? I mean, if you're a drug dealer looking to sell more drugs, Google ads would be a good way of doing it. So you can sort of see
that's
how
not a recommendation, please.
Yeah, but that's the point, right? That's how basic they have to come down on this. And Google, being an American company, want you to have a specific piece of prescribing certification, which you get as a doctor in America. I obviously don't have that because I'm in the UK. That doesn't mean I can't use Google ads. It just means you have to be careful about how you use the ads, and you have to work with Google about how you prove that you are a licensed prescriber. And it took a long while to get ads that actually weren't rejected immediately by Google. So you can put an ad up and then they'll take it down within 48 hours. So if you don't meet their compliance. So having somebody who actually knows how to do Google ads for healthcare providers in the UK is probably the key bit that I would say to anybody. I mean, you're more than welcome to get in touch with me. I can put you on to the person who helped me do it, but genuinely it is not as easy as people think. It certainly wasn't as easy as I thought, but once you get it, brilliant. Once you've got some ads that work, it works really, really nicely. People are looking for private healthcare. They're not looking through TikTok or Facebook or Instagram. They're looking through Google. So that's where Google ads really makes a big increase in your turnover and profit.
Makes sense. So that's video 2 for our A to Z done. We've got a separate video that Matthew shot all about Google ads and the sort of the rigmarole that you've gone through for that. So subscribe to the channel, have a look on the channel as well. Comment down below, what have we got wrong? What in our A to Z have we missed out? And make sure that you you keep an eye open and keep the notifications on, because we've got a total of 5 videos for this, and we look forward to seeing you soon.